Kazakhstan and France agreed to strengthen cooperation. France is among the top 5 strategic partners of Kazakhstan in the European Union, and it is also among the 3 largest foreign investors in the country. In recent years, the volume of foreign direct investment from France in the economy of Kazakhstan amounted to $15 billion. Meanwhile, trade in 2018 increased by 32.5% to reach $4.5 billion. There are about 170 enterprises with France participation operating in Kazakhstan. One of the joint projects between the countries includes an electric locomotive plant in Nur Sultan. France has expressed interest to work closely with Kazakhstan.
Au-delà du secteur ferroviaire, nous pensons que le
Kazakhstan is a strategic partner of France, while France in turn opens up new opportunities for Kazakhstan to cooperate with Europe. We are not limited to the railway industry. Our relationship has great potential. For our country, it is important to establish new business contacts, improve relations, and expand partnership with Kazakhstan. Today, Kazakhstan and France are cooperating in a number of strategic industries. Among the priority sectors include nuclear power, airport construction, energy, and information security. In addition, the two countries are interested to work in the field of transport, production of building materials, and pharmaceutical industry. France is the world leader in the production of alternative energy, and the country is ready to share its technologies with Kazakhstan. In addition, the experience of France in the field of IT will also be useful to local experts. The production of dry milk concentrate from camels was established in Turkestan. The project is a joint investment of Kazakhstan and China. The cost estimation is at 7.5 billion tenge. Up to 100 tons of dried powder is produced at the facility per day. In 1 year, the production volume is 33,000 tons. The powdered milk is produced in a special container. If it is mixed with water, it becomes 3.5 liters of pure shubat. The natural product is exported abroad.
Бұл цех қазір енді ең соңғы заманауи технологиямен жабдықталған.
This workshop is equipped with the most modern equipment. Everything is automated. Digital technology allows us to better control the process. The first thing is that the milk is sent to the shop. Milk is cleaned before pasteurization. There are several stages. In the final stage, the milk is sent to the shop where it is already prepared from the concentrate.
Таза сүтті біз келесі цехқа жіберіп, сосын порошокқа шығаруға дайындаймыз.
The representatives of the enterprise buy the milk for processing from local camel farms. At the same time, the production technology used at the Turkestan factory allows preserving all the natural properties of shubat. Support for youth initiatives and the development of social entrepreneurship are the main priorities of the Year of Youth in Kazakhstan. A joint project called JUST Project between the World Bank and the Ministry of Education is being implemented in the country. Within the framework of the program, up to 1 million tenge of grants is allocated to youth group in order to help them develop social ideas. The participants also receive a monthly income. They should implement their projects within 6 months. The program is focused on young people aged 14 to 29 years.
So there's about close to 8,000 young people who are benefiting from these projects. They are supported with training, life skills training. They're supported with mentors. They're also supported with training on planning, very important to make sure that they're able to coordinate their projects and to budget for their projects. In time, the project itself is about $21 million. But we've also invested some resources to do an impact evaluation of the project.
One of the projects that received the support is Book Time. Members of the project help to instill a love of reading in children. They purchase equipment and books using the grant received. In a short period of time, the center became popular among children of different ages. Not all parents can make their children read books, and we want to do just that. Instill a love of reading because reading develops imagination as well as the ability to analyze, think correctly and critically. We want children to learn about the authors of books. We want to organize trips to the library. Within the framework of the project, the youth learn to work in a team and manage their project. At the final stage, they explored the possibility of transforming their ideas into business. This year, the JAS project program is participated by participants from Mangistau, West Kazakhstan, Atyrau and Akmola regions, as well as Nur Sultan and Almaty. Adhesive bandage are being manufactured in Kyrgyzstan. The enterprise plans to supply the products not only in both domestic and foreign markets. Engineer Jongsen Won brought the technology of creating 18 samples of adhesive bandage from Korea to Kyrgyzstan. Among them are tissue, wound healing and waterproof. The first option will not prevent from getting wet, but the second option can be safely used for swimming. The company produces 15 million pieces of adhesive bandage in a year. We decided that the products would be easier marketed in Central Asia and Europe countries through Kyrgyzstan. First, we become active in the local market, and then we will start expanding. The factory employs 50 people. Most of them are local, but there are also experts from Korea. The experts control the production process and provide training. Another factory is planned to be opened.
Новый завод будет также размещен в Бишкеке.
The new factory will also be located in Bishkek. It will be bigger than this plant by 10 times. Around 200 to 300 people will be employed here.
Которые 200-300, они будут именно заняты в этом заводе.
In the future, the company plans to increase capacity and produce up to 180 million adhesive bandages per year. If the Kyrgyz experience is successful, the Korean investors plan to implement the same project in Uzbekistan. The Altyn Kum Festival in Kyrgyzstan is planned to be brought to international level. The event is organized to develop ecotourism as well as to involve the youth in sports and culture. It takes place annually in the country. The festival is held for the third time this year in Tosor village in Isikkul region. We attended the Altyn Kum Festival. There are exciting football and volleyball competitions. We decided to participate in the Kyrgyz Kurosh game as it is more familiar to us. We come from Koshkor. We have been participating in this festival for the third year and we are actively competing for the first places in sports competitions. Every year, the festival is held at the highest level and this year is no exception. White sand, clear water and clean air are the main reasons why there is an increase in the number of tourists every year. We believe that good conditions will be created for the development of ecotourism due to the festival. The Tosor village makes a great contribution to the development of eco, ethno, and cultural tourism in our area. According to statistics, over the past year, more than 14,000 tourists visited our area. Organizers are making great efforts to ensure that the festival reach international standards. Currently, work is underway to improve the coastal area and infrastructure.
Eң башта бул ошо фестиваль өткөрөрдөн мурун 3 жыл мурун айыл өкмөтү менен кеңешип биринчи ушул жерди, ушул пляжды коомдук пляж деп бекиттик.
Before organizing the festival 3 years ago, we decided to give the beach public status after consulting with the local government. Then we upgraded the beach and built restaurants and parking areas. The beach infrastructure is currently being upgraded.
Турган зона кайсы, машиналар токтоп турган зоналар кайсы, туалеттер, жанагы кийим чечүү жайлар каяк болот, ошонун баары бекитилген. Ошого жараша акырын-акырын ишке ашып келатат.
Last year, the Jetty Ogus district in the Isikkul region was visited by more than 14,000 tourists. Most of them chose to rest on the lakeside as well as in the Jetty Ogus and Kokjai canyons. Kolsai Lakes is one of the most picturesque places in Almaty region. The lakes are known as the Pearl of the Northern Tian Shan. There are 3 mountain reservoirs. They are located at an altitude of more than 2,000 meters above sea level. Today, it is a very popular destination among tourists. The Kolsai Lakes were visited by 35,000 tourists in 2017 and last year it was 41,000. Experts said that this year the number of tourists will increase. Tourists from Kazakhstan and abroad come here to relax. Now in our country, a lot of attention is paid to the development of domestic tourism. To improve the work, we intend to revise the general development plan of the park. The Kolsai Lakes are located 10 kilometers from the village of Satti. Tourists stop here to spend the night and sometimes stay for several days. In the future, a modern hotel and comfortable recreation areas are planned to be built.
I came to here.
I never thought that there could be such reservoirs on the tops of mountains. I consider this region as one of the most beautiful places in the world. One of the interesting places for tourists is the Chuchinko-Borovskaya resort area in the Akmola region. Last year, the picturesque place was visited by about 400,000 people. According to preliminary forecasts of experts, no less than 700,000 tourists are expected this year. Local authorities are constantly working to improve the infrastructure and service. It must be booked 2 or 3 weeks in advance during summer. We are building a new resort here. The construction of several hotels is also planned. Many foreign experts highly appreciate the tourist potential of the country. And this is not surprising. Each region of Kazakhstan has its own uniqueness, rich history, and beautiful nature. Almaty resident Sergei Bondarenko is traveling light by hitchhiking the world with limited set of things and money. He has already visited 30 countries in the world during his 6 years of travel. It all began in the spring of 2013. The then young man from Almaty first went to Moscow. He traveled all over Russia by hitchhiking. Recently, Sergei returned from the United Arab Emirates. Now the traveler plans to go to the United States of America. I decided that I should always move and not stay in one place for a long time. The situation I was in previously did not seem very promising to me. So I decided to go on a trip and I did not regret it. I had nothing to lose. I thought that a passport and a backpack is more than enough for me to go for a tour around the world. According to the 25-year-old Sergei Bondarenko, light traveling allows one to focus on new experiences and have a full relaxation. I had another backpack. I put the flag stripes of the countries I visited on it. There is "I am from Kazakhstan" writing on the bag in large letters. This is so that people will know that the person wearing it is from Kazakhstan. I also had a big flag of Kazakhstan on that backpack, which is often blown by the wind. People often ask what the flag was and where I was from. Thus, I popularized our country. The young man not only visits different countries, but also tells everyone about Kazakhstan and proudly shares the achievements of the country. In the future, Sergei plans to write a book about his travels. Next year marks the 175th anniversary of the birth of the great poet, writer and public figure Abay Kunanbayev. Various large-scale cultural events are planned to be held in the country. In addition, a number of memorial complexes will be repaired for this significant event. One of the buildings includes the Abay Shakarim Memorial Complex.
200 million ақша көлемінде қазір ақша қарастырылып жатыр. Бұл және
We plan to allocate 200 million tenge. These funds will be used to repair this complex. We need to create conditions for everyone who pays great attention to the legacy of Abay, who has common traditions. A lot of foreign visitors come to us as well as tourists from our country. All of them want to learn about the spirit and legacy of Abay. Therefore, the museum should be a modern complex of international class.
Музей халықаралық дәрежедегі заманауи музей болу керек.
Abay's descendant, Kusman Berleshov, is sure that the birthplace of the great poet and educator may well become the center of attraction for tourists from all over the world. The place is known not only in Kazakhstan, but also in other countries as well.
Тағзым жасап, жаңғыз ғана біздің қазақ ел емес. Анау Германиядан келді.
The creativity of Abay is loved and honored by many nations. For example, the German people know many of his works by heart. German often compares Abay with the great Goethe. Abay is the soul of the Kazakh people, and his words of edification have become a valuable understanding of the essence of the world and people.
Қара сөздерінің бәрі біздің бағдаршамымыз, сол жолмен жүруіміз керек.
Hundreds of tourists visit Abai's motherland, the village of Jibek, in the summer. The house-turned-museum of the great poet and educator is located 180 kilometers from Semei city. He built the house himself 124 years ago. He lived and worked here all his life. There are more than 50 valuable exhibits from the poet's personal belongings in the museum. The Ministry of Culture and Sports has planned to develop an audio guide and multimedia devices that allow foreign tourists to receive information in 3 languages in order to allow them to fully explore the rich heritage of Abai. Archaeologists discovered a mysterious burial site of the Bronze Age during their research work at the Kiziltau burial site in Karaganda region. Historians suggested that the finding is a burial site of a woman who was involved in a ritual activity. This is evidenced by the finding of unusually large number of ceramic pots, a bronze knife, and a scythe, which is an object that covers a woman's braid. A similar burial site was found previously at the Lisakov's archaeological complex in Kostanay region. We are studying the unwritten period of history during the time when people do not know how to write yet. All of the archaeological research helps to restore the very ancient history of Kazakhstan and answered many questions. Who lived? How did they live? What did they do? The burial complex consists of 5 large barrows. Another 2 burial sites were discovered this year with the remains of a man and a woman found in it. The woman wore gold jewelry such as pendants and bracelets. In addition, the burial site of children and horses were also found around the central burial area. Historians predicted that the bodies found were of the noble wheeled soldiers. The findings relate to the first half of the 2nd millennium BC. There are about 200 archaeological monuments located in the area within a radius of 100 kilometers. An open-air museum is planned to be built here. An Israeli film, Scaffolding, was premiered in Nur Sultan as the country promotes its culture through movies. The movie was directed by Matan Yair and tells about the story of a young man who is in search of himself. Through the movie screening, organizers wanted to showcase Israeli family values and their approach to youth education to the residents and guests of the capital city. In the framework of cultural cooperation between Kazakhstan and Israel, a week of Israeli cinema is planned to be held on Kazakhstan's television. All of the films will be dubbed into Kazakh. There will also be a number of other events. We decided to focus on the cinema theme because it is best to get to know a country by watching its movie. The movie shows people, relationship between people, history, culture, politics, and social life. In addition, we are working out on cooperation between the National Museum of Kazakhstan in Nur Sultan and the Bible Lands Museum in Jerusalem. This is a very high-level cooperation. There is interest between the 2 parties. For example, I can share with you the exhibits of our biblical museum that was shown last month in the Louvre. There will be an interesting exhibition. Kazakhstan will again take part in the Junior Eurovision Song Contest. The country will be represented by a young vocalist, Yerzhan Maksim, at the music competition. The Junior Eurovision 2019 will be held on November 24th in the Polish city of Gliwice. This year, representatives from 19 countries will take part in the international competition. Yerzhan Maksim's performing skills completely amazed millions of listeners, both in Kazakhstan and abroad, after his participation in a Russian music show. The 12-year-old boy plans to conquer new heights. Khabar Agency, being a member of the European Broadcasting Union, has submitted its application for the participation from Kazakhstan. Last year, it was considered as a large commission. It has the same procedure this year. We are honored to nominate our candidate amongst the 19 countries such as Georgia, Spain, and Maldives. Kazakhstan took part in the Junior Eurovision contest for the first time last year. The country was represented by the talented Danielia Tuleshova. She won the 6th place based on the results of the viewers' vote.